If you're joining us and you have, if you're joining this after the recording is over, I guess is what I'm saying, because I haven't pushed this out yet. So if anyone's here, then that's magical and weird.
Just waiting on it.
If you're joining us after the recording is over, my name's Andrew. This is my friend and co-founder, Austin.
How's it going?
And today we're going to be critiquing my mock-ups for the new Startup Watching website and doing it all live. So to start off with, I'm just going to share this real quick, since we have, so that hopefully some people will join us. I did the same thing last week or 2 weeks ago when I live streamed the initial design work. But last time I actually typed out all of my messages on the live stream, and it took a really long time. So today I went ahead and typed all that out. So real quick here, I'm just going to grab the YouTube URL, and I'm going to share this with everybody. So I'm starting off and I'm sharing it with my newsletter, Startup Watching. So I'm going to go ahead and send this out. We've got about 10,000 subscribers, so hopefully this will get us a few people. My computer might be running a little slowly. Send it now. Sure, I'll just go ahead and tweet that. All right, yes, and now. Cool. Okay, so that's been sent. I'll leave this open just so we can check back on the stats for that at some point later. I also submitted it last time to Entrepreneur Ride Along, the subreddit. That was really successful. I think we got a good number of people from there, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, and again, I've already pre-written this message, so this is good to go. Just going to hit submit. This seems to be one of the few Reddit communities that's super nice and supportive. I was really pleasantly surprised.
I haven't really looked at that one before.
Yeah, so it's this cool subreddit started by u/local case study, purely to document him growing his service business, and now a bunch of other people have done sort of the same thing, and they've grown at least 20 companies, they say.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, check that out.
Yeah, kind of a cool community. Hacker News, gonna come paste this in here. I don't think I got much traffic from this last time, but you never know. And then Designer News as well. You'll notice I tweaked the wording for Hacker News and Designer News. So Designer News, I used the title Professional Designer is critiquing my mockups live. Whereas Designer News, I said tune into the live critique of my mockups for the new Startup Watching website, mainly because Designer News is nothing but designers, so I wasn't sure how impressive having a professional designer would be to that community. But I think they'd still get a kick out of watching someone do a critique. Oh, hey, it already populated video. Yeah, nice. Cool. Good UX, Designer News. I did get some awesome spam last time I posted this to Designer News, so if you check out my notifications here. Oh, they deleted it. Okay, cool. So, yeah, there's some really... Oh, already getting the automatic replies. That'll be super fun. We'll get a bunch of those.
You will not be joining us today.
Yep. Get a lot of vacation reminders every time. I wish there was some way to turn those off just for newsletters, but yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal. I probably get 5 to 10 every time I send an email. Okay, so I'm just going to close out of these two. I don't think we need to check back in on these two. Anywhere else you think I should submit the link?
So you got Reddit, you got...
Do you want to tweet it out?
Designer News. Yeah, actually, that'd be a good idea. Can you text me or?
Yeah,
give me a link?
I can Slack it too.
Yeah.
That's our...
Did you tweet it out?
This is our beautiful pumpkin. Sort of. I'm taking a Twitter hiatus.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
For a few days, so I did it through Review. I've got my personal Twitter account linked up to Review now,
Gotcha.
instead of my Startup Watching
I saw that.
account. I could tweet it from the Startup Watching account.
Check it out. I'll just copy it from the email I just got from you.
Oh, that works too. There you go. Okie doke. Yeah, I could tweet it from the Startup Watching account real quick. Thanks, Twitter. Staying on top of things, making sure I'm being secured. Professional designer is critiquing Andrew's mockups of these new website live. Tune in here if you want to join in. First, let's do the little hand emoji here.
Alright, I'm gonna copy the one from Slack because this is the review link that has the click.
Oh, it has all the UTM parameters?
Yes.
Fine. Okay. Join in the fun. Let's throw a 100 emoji in. Is the 100 emoji the best, like, grade emoji? Like, that's kind of the
Yeah, I
only,
was
like...
looking for an A+ one the other day and I couldn't find it, so I think it's probably what we got.
Okay. Boom. Shoot that out. Startup Watching has about 8,000 followers, but not the most active followers. I think a lot of them are kind of like somewhat inactive accounts. So we'll see how that does. Oh, great. Our Slack DMs are the header photo with the pumpkin.
Oh, perfect.
Hopefully, yeah. I don't think we're... okay.
Just looking for
Cool.
a emoji here. This tweet will be sent out.
Let's see how this is doing. Do we have anyone live? We've got one person. Hey, welcome. Feel free to jump in the comments and say hey. Alrighty. Okay, we've got 13 opens and 1 click here. So,
Okay. Cool.
Doing good. Okay. Alright. Can probably exit out of that. Cool. So, want to give a quick introduction, shout out to my boy over here.
Perfect timing.
So Austin's a little sick, but Austin is my partner and co-founder at Crit. So he does all of the design work for Crit, both the design work for like our company and then the vast majority of the design work for our clients. He's been designing for like what, 5 years now? For like UI, like professionally?
Yeah, I guess so.
For about 5 years now. Started off in sort of the print world. Actually, we met at the student newspaper at the University of South Carolina, the Daily Gamecock.
Good Cox.
And then started Crit together and have been working together ever since.
Yeah.
So when Pedro had to bail today because of the bad weather, which hope everything's okay, Pedro. Then I called up Austin and was like, yo, you want to do a live stream and critique the Startup Watching designs? So thankfully
Here
he said yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything about like you or what you do or plug like your Twitter account or anything to the one person?
Yeah, if you want
watching
to
this
go
live?
follow me at Austin W. Price, that'd be cool.
Sure.
I tweet occasionally.
Oh, we've got 4 people now.
Oh,
So
man.
4 people heard that. Pretty cool.
Getting a lot of followers.
Thanks everyone for joining in. Again, feel free to like jump in and say hey in the comments, and we'll read those and try to respond to them throughout this. So, quick update: Startup Watching is a newsletter that I run. It's a collection of curated knowledge, background stories, and inspiration from the startup world. Gets sent out. According to the website right now, it gets sent out every Monday and Thursday. That is no longer accurate. It gets sent out every Thursday. I have pretty much stopped updating this because I've been focused on getting the new design finished. We're at closer to 10,000 subscribers now. I purged some inactive subscribers recently, so yeah. So clearly the website needs to be updated, but that's why we're here today. So I purchased Startup Watching from Bram Constein back in like April or May. And when I did, one of the first things that I wanted to do is I wanted to get a new website up that would just give me more flexibility to do more with the Startup Watching site. Right now it's built on Card, which is like a really cool like tool for getting really simple sites up. But I'm a little bit more technical, and so I wanted something that gave me a little bit more control. So I found a cool WordPress theme called Chipmunk that is built for collections of curated content, and I am modifying that to work for Startup Watching. I got a cool email from the designer, the founder of, I think it's Webflow, the other day, which,
Oh, cool.
or the founder, yeah, and he was like, "Yo, why are you using WordPress?" So I might try Webflow out for some future
I've heard
projects.
a lot of really good things about that.
Cool.
On Twitter.
I should respond to his email then. So
You were check it out.
yeah, I might try Webflow out for some future projects, maybe like some side projects and stuff that I release through Startup Watching. But for right now, Startup Watching is all about like content, and WordPress is still the world leader for content-driven websites. We actually haven't done a ton with it at Crit. Like, we have stayed away from it because we had some bad early experiences. So we use Craft and Kirby and some other smaller CMSs. But I wanted to use it for Startup Watching, just because of its flexibility. So that's the plan. But right now I'm still in the design phase. So I have an initial, I have the Chipmunk theme installed. I have a site up and running locally. But right now my focus is really nailing down the design for the new website. And then, hopefully after today, maybe one more, 2 or 3 hour session of design work, I'll be in a pretty good spot to start actually applying my designs to the code of the Chipmunk theme, building my own child theme. So, yeah, so that's sort of where we are now. I thought I'd run through this real quick. I know you tuned into part of the last stream. Did you catch any of this, or was this?
I don't think so, because I think it was mostly the promotional stuff.
Okay.
Before I had to run, so.
Cool. So basically, the real reason I'm building. So I want to just talk a little bit before we get into the design about strategy and goals. Today's focus is definitely going to be more on critique and aesthetics and like structure of the site. But I think it's important to understand the strategy and goals before you get into that.
Yep, you got to critique it based on something.
Yeah.
So,
So my goal for the new website is really to grow Startup Watching as a business. And I say that rather than just grow Startup Watching as a newsletter. That's probably the short-term goal, is to grow the Startup Watching newsletter. So when I took it over from Bram, it was actually shrinking, sort of. So I get a handful of new subscribers every week, but I also lose a handful of subscribers just from natural churn. Every time I send out a newsletter, people unsubscribe. It doesn't fit them anymore. So it's actually shrinking right now, and I want to change that. I want it to start growing. So short term, that means just growing a newsletter, but long term, I think Startup Watching could be a lot more than just a newsletter, because I think the idea of curating content is interesting and helpful in today's world where there's tons and tons of content out there. So my objective, I set up OKRs, of course,
nice.
for this. My KRs are not super specific right now. They need some work, but I was taking too much time doing that during the last live stream.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So my objective is to make the Startup Watching website a regular part of people's toolbox.
So what do you mean by toolbox exactly?
Yeah, good question. So I mean, so the subscribers of Startup Watching, and one of the things I'm probably going to do here soon is try to survey them so I can get a better understanding of the makeup of the newsletter and everything. But from what I can tell, it's a really cool group of people who are, a lot of product-focused people, product managers, designers, a lot of early stage founders, and some marketers and salespeople.
Okay.
And so when I say toolbox, I think of the sort of go-to tools that everyone has for doing their job at whether that job is their full-time job or sort of a part-time gig.
Mm-hmm.
And those tools, Product Hunt might be one of those tools. Like it's where you go to discover new stuff and launch things. Software Sketch and stuff is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking more in terms of like
if you're trying to figure out something, where do you go?
Yeah.
You're trying to get inspired. You're trying to.
Yeah, if you're trying to get inspired, if you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're trying to promote your content,
Yeah.
if you're trying to meet other people in the startup world, where do you go?
Cool.
Product Hunt is a place where you can go to do some of that. A lot of people, Twitter is a place where you can go to do some of that. There are a lot of Slack groups and stuff. But I want Startup Watching to become one of those things.
Okay. Yeah.
One of those places.
Cool.
Yeah. And so my key results, and again, I'm still fleshing these out, but increase overall traffic to the site by 100% month over month. I set that high. 100% is pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably too high, but right now the traffic's so low that it should be easy to do that for the first few months.
Gotcha.
So for the first 3 months, say I'm getting, I don't know, I think my analytics isn't actually set up properly. So that'll be one thing I'll be making sure to fix.
Yeah.
But say I'm getting 30 to 50 users a month.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in that realm of pretty small.
I gotcha.
If I'm getting 30 to 50 users a month, there's no reason month 2 I shouldn't be able to get 100,
mm-hmm.
and month 3 I shouldn't be able to get 150.
Yeah.
Until I get up to 2 to 300, I think I should be able to increase that.
Yeah.
I might not.
Yeah.
Key result number 2, I just put qualitative feedback that the site is more useful than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a great key result because it's not super measurable.
Yeah.
Some people suggested net promoter score, of course.
Yeah.
But that would require me to the response rates on net promoter score just aren't fantastic. So I'm not sure if that's the best thing here.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to know that the site's more useful, I mean, you could look at
usage or
you could pull something from analytics to do that, where it's time on page or number of pages or something.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out what
that
data is going to tell you that.
Yeah. But I also kind of just want to talk to people and ask them. And
yeah.
If people are telling me,
you could just get them to put it on a scale, and then you can measure it.
So say something talk to people, and on average they tell me the site is twice as useful.
Something like that, or how many times a week would they come, or do they come, or something.
That's interesting.
How often do you would you want to check back to the site to use it?
That's interesting.
So then you're a frequency.
But then I feel that's the kind of thing I shouldn't ask them. I should just.
If you have a way to measure it,
yeah,
you can just measure that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might need to do something a little bit more with Google Analytics, but.
Yeah, or I might have to set up. Expandable's so expensive.
Yeah, the free tier's
pretty solid,
pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
So you get a ton of traffic.
So I'm not gonna worry about improving these today because it doesn't really matter until I'm launching the site.
Mm-hmm.
The important thing is just knowing the things that I care about.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? So
do you have a timeline on these?
That's a good question. My plan right now is to launch. I should have a timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna start when the site launches, and then
start measuring them when the site launches.
Yeah, because you wouldn't start before that.
Yeah. So should I have? Well, anyway, should probably have a different OKR just for getting the site launched, right?
I mean, that's probably just it right there, right? Like, you want to
Get
launch
the
the
site.
site, and
Yeah.
then you're building it so that it does these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, once my goal right now is to get it launched by at the latest the end of the year.
Okay.
That's intentionally like much longer than it could take me. Like I could get it done a lot faster than that, but I've been dealing with burnout lately, and so I just don't want to put a ton of pressure on myself to get it done super fast. So that's like a good leisurely pace that I can like work on it a couple hours a week and definitely get it done by the end of the year.
Yeah. You also got holidays.
Yeah.
In the middle of all that too.
Got holidays, and then the big piece of this that I still haven't totally figured out is like all of the content for the site. Like is in decent shape right now, but needs to. I've got like 850 like 2 to 3 sentence descriptions that need to be updated.
Yeah.
So that's like 850 times 3 is good. 2,500, 2,500, and what do you think? An average sentence is like what, 10 words? So 25,000 words that need to be edited.
Yeah.
So
Small amount.
So that's the last part. So along the lines of what you were talking about, I was just thinking like clicks, like
just like total number.
Yeah.
Are you looking at like clicks per visit or like?
Yeah, I guess pages per user or something like that would be better there.
Yeah.
But basically, just like are people like discovering content through the site, something to measure are people.
Like they're coming to the site to find something, and then.
Yeah, or coming to the site not to find something, but still then interacting with the site and finding something, or are they just like bouncing?
Yeah.
A low bounce rate would be another good one to shoot for.
Yeah, we're kind of good at that.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, a good target is for that, like 3 pages per visit.
Probably, yeah. You can start there and see kind of what's going on with it.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to go through the marketing ideas that I've got for it, or do you think we should jump into the critique now?
We can probably go through this quickly, just
okay,
kind of see what you're thinking.
Cool. So my ideas for marketing the site. Let me just check in. Cool. Still got 4 people here. So thanks y'all for tuning in. We're 22 minutes in, so we'll try to wrap this up pretty quickly here and then jump into the critique. So just real quick, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to promote the site on Product Hunt.
Cool.
The site was kind of like the newsletter was kind of built on the back of Product Hunt.
Yeah.
So it just makes a ton of sense.
Should do fairly well there.
Yep. And I think I'm going to live stream that, which will be fun. Yeah. And a buddy of mine has built a tool to like help you monitor your Product Hunt launch. And so I might talk to him about like using that in the live stream, which will be fun.
Cool.
Create more original social content. That's like a thing I probably need to be doing. Cross promotion with other newsletters. I could be much more proactive about doing that. Right now, I just sort of do it if
someone asks about it.
Yeah. Email campaign to content creators. So this is a more interesting idea, I think.
It is bolded, so.
Yeah. So I still haven't decided, like, would I try to time this with the Product Hunt launch? Would I try to, do it afterwards? I'm not really sure, but basically I've got 850 pieces of content that I'm linking to. And so if I just, let's say of those 850 pieces of content, there's 600 unique authors. If I then send an email to all 600 of those authors saying like, hey, I linked to your content. Do you mind sharing the site?
Yeah.
Like, something like that. Say 10% of those, which I would think would be low because it's a pretty easy ask.
Yeah.
But, people don't open emails, yada, yada. So 10% might even be high. But 10%, share it, link to it, something like that.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Promote on Designer News, Hacker News, Reddit, obviously. I really want to experiment with a podcast.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about that some.
Yeah.
I want to do it, just the time. Side project marketing, so Hippopotamus was originally... So Hippopotamus is a side project that we're actually working on in Crit. Oh boy, just lost my mouse connection.
Yeah.
Might be... But yeah, Hippopotamus is a side project that we're planning on launching at Crit. We've already made a good bit of progress on it, And originally it was actually an idea that I wanted to build for Startup Watching. But then when we had some extra time at Crit, I was like, cool, let's just do it at Crit. But doing some stuff like that I could promote on Product Hunt and stuff and create some tools that could be useful for people, I think could be cool, but also time intensive again. Okay, I might have to check on these batteries real quick. Sorry, y'all.
They take double A's or triple A's?
Come on. What is going on today? Let's see how I'm doing. 34%. I should be fine. Okay. Weirdness. Book summaries. This is more kind of a revenue generating idea, but I think it would be kind of cool to just like read startup books and then do like TLDR. Like
Cliff Notes?
Yeah, Cliff Notes. Yeah. Which plenty of other people have done, but could be a way to build up affiliate links and a fun thing to try. And then just doing more manual stuff, probably with the help of a VA to like spur conversations with subscribers and just building more of a community. I think could help with like word of mouth growth and stuff like that. So those are my marketing ideas. Any questions before we jump into the critique?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, you ready?
I think so. Well, I may pop up in this look. It does improve outcomes of critiques by 10 to 20%.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are not getting any comments, so for now I'm going to hide this. I will try to check in on this here soon.
Got one response on the tweet.
Ooh, nice. Oh, great. Hunter, if you're watching this, you're appreciated, even though you're probably just trolling us. Okay. All right, so I've done some work to this. So I'm going to be talking to Austin here, but also sort of talking to the 4 people watching. So these are my mock-ups. I've got mocked up right now. I've got the home page, an item page. Sorry, we've got my dog here, and of course he's getting into trouble right as we get started.
Like, nah.
So I've got the item page, so this will be like an individual piece of content that I'm linking to.
Okay.
Then I've got search page. This page is not finished. Specifically, you'll notice the button styles are the old button styles. I haven't updated those yet.
Okay.
And I haven't updated the nav bar yet because that's a different form field style than the form fields I'm using elsewhere.
Gotcha.
But this structure is what I have at the moment, so I think it'll still be worth critiquing the structure. Just ignore those, those few details. Oops. Then this is a landing page that I've got mocked up. I think this is good to go. I could probably, you might have some advice for like more elements I should mock up. Like I've got H1, H2 list, H3 or H4. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
Normal text, subtitle. So I've got a decent bit, but you might have some advice there. And then I have not finished updating this page yet, but this will be a blog post. So like, I'm obviously, since I'm going full width here, I'm going to go full width here as well. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Gotcha.
And then this will be the blog page. Yeah. So again, here you'll notice that like I haven't updated the button styles, and I haven't updated like the width there, but we can still maybe talk about that, touch on it. Okay, so where do you want to start?
All right, let's start with the homepage.
Okay. Do you want me to present it to you and like sort of run you through it, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I think that'd be
okay. All right, cool. That kind of works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is the homepage, and so a couple weeks ago I was just starting this. I've got the original ones. So this is
Thanks, you made a copy of the artwork.
I'm finally learning. Yeah. So this is what it looked like originally. right here. This is about what it looked like. This is with the colors, some of my colors applied, but not all of them. And then I started working on it a little bit more, and this is about where I got to after the last live stream. So a few changes, nothing major. And then, okay, it's probably a better way to do this. If Pedro were on, he'd be giving me keyboard shortcuts. Okay. So this is where I got. So I tried to go in a much lighter direction.
Yeah.
So I like the look of sites like this. You and I were actually talking about this the other day a little bit. I like it. It feels much cleaner and more open, and that was part of the inspiration for the whole redesign. Was the brand originally, while it was cool, it felt overly techy and overly dark, and I feel like the brand is much more positive. Most of our subscribers are in tech, but they're not like hardcore programmers. So it didn't make sense to me to be like the super sci-fi looking logo. And then I want to add this search bar here. You can search at all times from the nav bar, but I wanted to add the search bar here because I want to encourage people to discover new content. And I want to make that really easy and make it obvious that that is a point of the site. So the site right now is just all about the newsletter.
Right.
So I'm trying to really depart from that and be like, this is a place to discover content.
Cool.
And then there's a newsletter if you want to keep up with that content. So this I haven't changed much from their defaults, other than adding some shadows and tweaking like the colors a little bit. I'm trying. One of the things I'm struggling with a little bit right now is figuring out how to use. So I'm using the Mooly font everywhere, but I'm trying to figure out like which weights to use where, and which sizes. So this is currently like sort of my H1 size, but then I have some other places where I use H1s. I use the H1 size, but I don't use the H1 weight, and I'm trying to figure that out. I think I like the super thick chunky font because it looks a little whimsical and kind of inviting to me. But it's I don't want to overuse it also. I'm also trying to figure out colors. So I'm pretty happy with this green and blue combination for the like primary button. But I've gone back and forth on whether to use just the darker green for the secondary button or to mix in that pink or some other things. So coming down here, these I also didn't change much. I thought they were fine. I think they do their job. So these are like, I may change the name from collections. I haven't decided yet. But they're basically like tags. So I've got mine tags like design, marketing, sales, fundraising, some different startup sort of keywords. And so those, you'll be able to click through to those here.
If you want to see some gadgets.
Gotta have the gadgets.
Of course.
So this is an element that came sort of bundled in the mock-ups. It's actually intended to be an advertisement, but I'm not currently planning on selling any advertisements on the website. That may change in the future, but for right now, I'm not. So instead, I want to come up with a really compelling lead magnet that I could offer here. Right now, the best idea I've had is like compiling a list of the 100 most popular articles from like all of Startup Watching. I don't know like content rights though. Would I just have like a short description and links to that content? Because like actually including the entire blog post would be a lot. Like I might be able to do it. I just have to get permission from the authors.
From the 100 of them.
But I also liked how Startup Watching 100 sounded. Rolls off the tongue. Anyway, then this is the newsletter sign up. So this is like the core newsletter sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Something about this, I don't love the way it looks. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And I think part of it might be this white button here.
Mm-hmm.
Feels a little weird, but I was trying to figure out what kind of button to use on this lighter background. And then I did keep the dark background for the footer, just because I thought it gave it a nice sort of base to stand on. So, yeah, where do you want to start?
Let's go back up to the top here.
Okay, you want to take over?
That's a good call. So, I'll just start with the header here.
How should I take notes? I can just write them down, but then other people can't see them.
Well, if you want to pull...
I'll write them down on my phone, on my notes app, and then I can just pull them up at the end and run through them.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so 1 second. Startup watching critique. Boom, boom. Okay, hit me.
Okay, so when people come onto this homepage here, like what do you want them to do? Like what's like the ideal behavior here? Like because really the two main things you have right now are searching and clicking on a piece of content, right?
Yeah.
So what would you rather? Well, I mean, I guess either way they're going to content. So I guess maybe context is a more important question. Are people going to come here looking for something specific, do you think? Or do you think it's going to be more of like browsing behavior?
Yeah, so that's what I
mean, you may not know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that yet. That was my big question is is Startup Watching going to become a tool that you come here and you like have a question like Google?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like a search engine it's almost like a search engine, but specifically for this hand-picked, high-quality startup content.
Yeah.
Is that what it's going to be? So that's kind of like what First Round has become.
Mm-hmm.
So First Round launched First Search, where you can search through all of their content and some other people's content, but mostly their content. So is it going to be that? Or, and like if you go to First Search, so this is their page, and from what I can tell, they've like gotten rid of their blog. So they do have.
This has basically replaced it.
Yeah, this is based from what I can tell. So it just starts off and it's like boom, they want you to search.
Yeah.
They do have this featured content thing, but it's not loading right now.
Featured.
I wonder if I'm blocking it.
Oh yeah.
I might be blocking it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. But obviously they do a good job of like search, and then if you scroll down, you can get to the featured stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, they're definitely focused on search, like it's in the name.
Yeah. So I don't know yet which one people are going to want to use more because neither of them really exist right now.
Yeah.
All I know is right now I send people a newsletter and they like the links that I include.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like the way that this page is set up is probably going to lend itself better to searching or to like going to a collection because like you have a couple of featured things here, but as far as like browsing that, you're basically like seeing 3 at a time and clicking through.
Yeah.
So it's not something that lends itself super well to like looking at a ton of articles and like scrolling through a list, you know? So yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but I would assume from this layout that the easiest path, if you're not clicking one of these, is to either search something or to hit one of these collections rather than scroll through several pages of this.
To be fair, I think that's what I want because I think just scrolling through, like, again, the 850 or whatever articles that have been curated by Startup Watching would be kind of just overwhelming, and like there should be some way to guide people. And
absolutely.
I'm not going to have like Medium's recognition algorithm right off the bat. So
probably not.
So my focus then becomes then basically becomes guiding people a little bit more.
I gotcha. How often are you planning on updating like the featured section?
So I think there's featured, latest, and popular are sort of the three that come bundled with this theme.
Okay.
So these came bundled. I didn't come up with this.
Gotcha.
I was going to say I could update them each newsletter, but if I'm doing that, then I should just have latest. That's featured.
Like what was in the newsletter?
Yeah, featured doesn't really help there. So then, I would probably shoot to update them once a month or something.
Gotcha. Cool. Cause I was going to say, if from it's not as much of a design thing with the site is if you are updating it regularly with what is on the page here,
Mm-hmm.
if I come here one week and then the next week I come here and it's the same articles, it's not going to feel like this is getting updated a lot. So if you're wanting people to use this as a toolbox to people to kind of come here, so product time gets updated every day, so I can check it every day and know I'm going to see a bunch of new stuff, which you don't have to do that with this obviously, but just think about that cadence of what the homepage looking different than the last time I came.
Yeah, that's a good point. And discovering that cadence is going to be it's going to be some work.
For sure.
So I don't know. What's your gut say?
As far as frequency,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like once a week would probably be kind of mirroring your newsletter frequency.
So in that case, so the other thing is I do want to try. So I went down to one newsletter send a week.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to ideally try to do, and I include 5 links in each newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
I need to come up with a good word for them too, 5 stories, 5 articles. I haven't decided what I'm going to call them. They're called, I think they're called in here they're called items, which I don't like.
Yeah. Sterile.
So, I think in order for the website to be useful for people, being able to search the archives, I think would be super useful.
Mm-hmm.
It would also just be useful for me.
Yeah.
But also, I'm thinking I'm probably going to need to post content to the website that doesn't make it into the newsletter. Because then that makes the newsletter all right, now you're getting the best of the best. Whereas the website, you're getting curated content, but you're getting a little bit broader range, and it's being updated a little bit more frequently. It's gonna. I don't know yet if I'm going to be able to keep up with that.
Yeah,
that could quickly turn into a lot of work.
For sure.
But my thought is every time I read an article, just go ahead and add it to the website, and then pick the 5 that I want to include in the newsletter, and include those in the newsletter each week.
Yeah, it would be a nice workflow.
And shoot for 5 to 10 a week that get added to the website, and and then just 5 in the newsletter.
Okay.
And so then, in that scenario, featured could be the newsletter each week, or even my 3 favorites from the newsletter each week.
Yeah.
And then latest, you could scroll through, and
it's just the latest.
Yeah, it's just the latest, and then popular. We'll see how useful popular is.
Yeah. Okay.
I would love for popular to become the first thing that you see.
Yeah.
That would be cool, because that would mean people are interacting with the website. But
that would be cool.
But yeah.
And just from a browsing standpoint, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So some aesthetic things here. I don't think I was off the frame, but it's okay. So some aesthetic things here.
Yeah.
So with these tabs here,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a ton of contrast between the highlighted one and the other ones.
Yep.
So you could do that, with colored. I know you were trying to figure out some ways to include the pink color.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an opportunity right there.
Can we actually try that live? You want to try that
Sure.
and just see?
I don't know.
I've got the colors loaded in there.
Oh, so,
You want to just move them over to the left?
sure. Is it this right here?
No, it's these
nice.
right along here.
So yeah, like adds a little bit more color and everything.
Yeah.
So you could do that. Other option is making these a little lighter, possibly a combination.
Yeah, I have a lighter gray in there.
Yeah, but that starts to get a little
Too light.
yeah.
Also, these aren't. I don't know if all of these are the right colors. So but I know for a fact that like from there to there are like that's my color palette.
Gotcha.
So
Sketch tip.
Yeah.
So that they have these global colors and these document colors,
Uh-huh.
and so every sketch document that you have will have all of these colors,
Uh-huh.
and then these get reset after each new document.
Gotcha. So I should add them down there instead of.
Yeah, so I typically don't have a ton of stuff here, and then I have some like basic stuff there, but then I have like each specific color, just as like easier to keep up with
Cool.
if you're
Makes
doing a
sense.
ton of documents. But cool. So yeah, that's a couple of things right there. It's just the contrast there, and then whatever you do there, yeah, I would definitely mirror it on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like the same deal going on. Although I guess it'll be a little different because like right now it's disabled, but then if you swipe over, I guess they're both enabled.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe that's yeah.
Do you like the pink versus?
It definitely adds a little bit more to the page.
Does. I worry a tiny bit about like being consistent with links. Like, am I now going to use pink everywhere for links? Do I need to, or?
I mean, for like this kind of thing, I don't think you need to.
Okay.
It's because this is like
Because I think it makes more sense to use like probably start using like the dark green for links.
Mhm.
I would this green here just isn't super visible.
Yeah.
So like I think probably trying to start moving to using this dark green for links would be the move.
Yeah.
But so then use the pink more for interface elements.
Yeah,
I guess
and like maybe like your kind of highlighted stuff or something.
Oh,
Because that's kind of what this is, right? It's a feature, so it's like highlighted item. So you could kind of maybe run with like that.
I could try it
Setup.
for links too, but I think probably I want to use.
Yeah, it might be. It's like one of those colors where it's easy to go overboard. Like it'll become a bit much very quickly.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be careful with it.
Okay.
So other things like from an aesthetic point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So like so you've got the button and the search bar and these cards and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They've all got like kind of card base, like these little shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And then like your secondary button is like fairly different.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty aesthetically different from like a size perspective and just like a visual perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know you're using that in a couple places, like down here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you may want to look at maybe building a little more consistency there.
So I've got a few different versions of this.
Okay.
So do you want to just flip through some of those real quick and
sure.
see which ones? So I've got. So I created three of the small versions. One's white, which again I don't love the white.
Yeah.
But then I also this is what this would be like. It doesn't have the shadows, but so then.
Okay.
Do you think that's better, or is that? I wanted it to be clear that it was a secondary button.
Yeah.
And even though it's smaller, it still looks kind of like a primary button.
Yeah, it's like a smaller version of the primary button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess the thing is between the two of them, like you've got one that's like filled in and like so it's like a solid color
Mm-hmm.
and it's got like the shadow and everything. And the other one is like not filled in and like doesn't have the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So they just look like very different.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean maybe you could like other options with that is just using like a more subtle color in the background.
Mm-hmm. So like,
So, like,
I could flip the colors. I could use like the blue.
yeah, like the really dark color, and like that'll definitely put a lot less weight on it.
I just thought that looked a little dull when I was trying it, but let's see. I know I have these buttons over here somewhere, so let's just make another one of these real quick. Should I be doing this now, or should I just take notes?
I mean, you can try some of the stuff like this, but yeah.
Let me just try it, just so we can sort of see what it looks like. Okay. Oops. Okay, so there's blue, and then I'll try. Nope. Probably needs to be white, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I was got that opacity.
yeah. So would you go blue or white?
I would probably go white.
Simply, yeah. Okay. All right. So then let's come back over here. If we just swap that out for now. Oh, I should have named it something better. Real quick. So I'm going to name this something other than button primary small copy because that's not very descriptive. Where is it? There it goes. Okay. Button secondary. Do I already have I do have a button secondary small. So I'll just call it dark for now.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's swap this out for and now I've got that bar in here somewhere. Should I just go ahead and swap it out there too?
Yeah, I'd probably so.
Okay. Where is it? Right under. I
don't know.
Okay. Now let's see. So I just don't love the way that looks.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely more consistent.
I mean, I could try adding shadow to it to make it even more consistent. Like, do you think that's all that's missing there, or do you think it is the dark button that's not great?
I don't know. I mean, you could experiment with a little bit more, like on the background colors. Like, see, a couple of options you have are, you could do a little bit lighter version of like that really dark color that you have, like kind of the next step up from it. Or you could use that really dark version of the like teal.
What do you think?
I mean, I'd probably go with that over pink because pink's gonna like pull a lot of weight to it.
Okay.
And like that's gonna be pretty. I mean, it's gonna obviously be consistent. Yeah, it's like a fairly neutral color.
Should I add the shadow?
I don't know that you need the shadow because, I mean, if you're having more of a secondary button and you're using it in several places
cool.
like that, you know, you don't have to have the shadow on it everywhere.
Okay.
But
so like that feels better.
That does feel better than the black. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love the black.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll play around with that some more. I'm still not like in love with that.
Yeah.
Is the text still like a light gray? Looks a little gray, doesn't it?
Oh, it is gray. The actual color is gray.
Oh, just because I used that instead of white?
Yeah.
Should I use full white?
I probably would.
When do you like, because I try to stick to that rule of like not using full white too often, but then like I'm using full white in the background here and I'm using, so when
full white is not really a bad thing. I mean, especially when you have text on colored backgrounds, like you really should go with the white just because the like gray on color text just
looks dull.
Well, it's just hard to read. Like the contrast is not great. So yeah, I mean, I think something like that just looks more consistent.
Okay.
Because just that earlier, that button was just felt out of place, like where like the style and everything. So yeah, I mean that's something you can continue to play with and look at it. But But yeah. So otherwise, I mean, I like the headline. I like including emojis in there. Like that's a pretty easy way to add a little more visual interest, and that's definitely on brand for startup watching.
Yeah, I want to do some more of that too. Like on some of the landing pages, trying to the copy right now is a little dull. I haven't really updated it since I bought the site, of course.
Always.
So I haven't really updated it. So I want to use like some funny GIFs and stuff like that to try to just add a little personality.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, so some things to think about here are what does that search bar look like when you start typing in it?
Yep.
And also, what are people going to be typing? Like, is it going to be shorter, like SEO for beginners? Because it is like not super wide. So like that is some area, like if you wanted to add some more visual interest, like the search bar would be the place to do it on this page. So that could be like adding some kind of background to it and making the whole search bar section like much more prominent and adding like some suggestions or like some pre-filled searches that you could just click or something. You know, kind of like this whole width here.
Kind of like what first search is.
Yeah, it's similar, I mean, you don't have to make like your whole page, but you could just like, instead of having like a search bar here, you could just have like a whole kind of block here that's like, this is the search section, add some more text to it or whatever. I don't think you really need that, but you know, that's like, I wouldn't really do too much to this because you're just going to make it harder to use.
Yeah.
if you do too much to it. And like the headline, and the nav bar and everything is nice and simple and really clean. So I wouldn't really mess around there too much. One question on the nav bar. So and this isn't a critique really, it's just more of a question. But so the startup watching logo. So that's like the condensed version, but you also have the full version, right? So what's your thoughts on using that versus the full logo?
So my main thought was like the full logo is pretty long, pretty wide, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And so it just takes up a ton of real estate in that header. And also, like the way some of the styles are done now for the, like I think for the theme, it might be applying like a set width or a max width or something to that element to keep it from like taking up the whole nav bar. So then it shrunk it down.
Yeah.
And it just looked bad. So I thought the condensed version looks better. And this condensed version is not perfect. I might still tweak that a little bit.
No, I mean, I like how it looks. I like the condensed version. I was just mostly curious.
Do you want to see the other condensed version that I've been playing with a little bit?
Oh, sure.
Let me just pull this up real quick. Okay, startup watching.
Is it the highlighted one?
Huh?
Is it the highlighted one?
So the highlighted one I thought about. I'm not sold on it. Although someone did. Oh god, I'm gonna kill my computer. My poor computer.
Computer's like, please stop.
It's like, you're live streaming and you're pulling up Sketch and Illustrator? Like, what are you doing? Why do you hate me? It's a Sunday night. Just chill out, dude.
We should have done the live stream when we were doing this. The branding stuff?
Yeah, that would have been fun. So Austin came in and helped me improve the branding stuff. It looked awful before I sat down with him, and then that's it right there. Huh? This is the other version that I have been tweaking, and I think I'm going to use that version on social and stuff.
I like it,
like as my Twitter avatar and things like that.
Yeah, I like it.
It's the YouTube avatar I used for the startup watching YouTube account.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I thought about using that one on the site, but it's like not clear at all.
Yeah.
I also thought about having it scroll, like once you scroll, switching to that one.
I was gonna say you could do something where you play around with it, where you scroll down and you do it, or like you hover over it and like the SW scrolls up, and like your eyes like kind of
Yeah, or or even like just put it in like the footer or something.
Yeah,
could be fun.
Use it as like a secondary.
Yeah,
I like it though.
Yeah, so I actually don't hate how it turned out.
Yeah,
it's simple, but it's kind of fun.
Simple's not enough.
Okay, so yeah, we can get back. Should I might quit Illustrator
That's probably
before
a
my
really good call.
computer like actually
It
dies.
sounds like it's blasting off right now.
Okay.
Cool.
So you were mentioning like giving this a little more visual priority potentially? Do you think I should increase the white space up here?
Well, that was gonna be my next thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Get ahead of you.
yeah, I like the thought there because yeah. So that's one thing is like, so two things about the like white space here. One of them is that it's not like
Consistent.
it's not consistent. So like this, so like right now this thing is like kind of part of the header, but then like kind of not
Mm-hmm.
because it's like definitely closer to the headline. So they could definitely kind of get to group for that headline, but then there's not a ton of space below that.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not making a strong case either way of like what the main thing on the page is.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think I want the main thing to be search.
yeah.
At least initially. Like, it may be that no one's using search, and then
And then you just pull it out because
Drip
you
it
got
out.
it right there. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But,
But yeah, either way, I would probably give it a little bit more room to breathe, like with the headline. And so, yeah, if you want to try the search thing out first, which I think is a good experiment to try.
mhm.
Yeah, you could just kind of bump this white space down and even pull this down a little bit more too from the nav bar, like just kind of really.
Keep in mind that people watching can't see your hand gestures.
Oh yeah.
So
So,
what he's-
yeah, let me have the mouse on.
yeah.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, like this section could definitely have a little bit more room to breathe because right now you've got this that is close enough to this headline where it feels like it's a group, but then there's not really a ton of space here, so it's kind of like not making a strong stance on like what the main thing on the page is. So yeah, since we were thinking search might be the way to go to start with. I think, what we could do there is just have a little bit more space here and down here and like really pull this whole section out. And then just while you're doing that though, I think it would be good to like have these kind of peeking up.
Mhm.
I mean, the below the fold thing isn't like as huge as it used to be. Like people generally scroll more now on websites than they used to, but like still, giving people,
Yeah.
if people don't know to scroll.
I don't think I'm going to shove them. I'm not going to
Yeah, you're not
this
gonna
thing.
like you don't need to do anything like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, just giving it a little bit more room to breathe, it'll really I think help this section here.
Cool. I do think the search will probably look kind of like if you flip over to first search. Like it will I'll build some sort of little autocorrect
Cool.
or autofill
Yeah,
sort of thing.
that's something to definitely think about. Is like what does that active state look like? Because like
Yeah.
this is kind of the start of it, but as soon as people start typing in, like that's a part of the experience.
And I
too.
think that's already built into the search in here. I'll just
Oh,
need to
cool.
modify the way it, like this visual style, the
Cool.
way it looks.
And then yeah, like I was saying, if you need to do anything else with like pulling the search out, you could basically build like a little box or something and kind of like make a whole search section. But I think it's I think throw in some extra white space.
Okay,
in there.
so you were saying make like a card. almost.
Yeah, something like doesn't necessarily have to be like this. Like that's a pretty subtle way to like here's a section of.
Okay.
So, but yeah, like a card or even if it's just using some white space in a way where you can add some maybe text or some like pre-filled tags or something like that.
Okay.
Some like additional information in a nice little way. So yeah, we can move on from the header section here in a second, but only other thing I would say here, and you don't have another example of these on this page, but I feel like you might on some other pages.
Mhm.
So like this it's not really like a navigation, but it like kind of is.
Mhm.
But these look very different than like this does.
Mhm.
So that's just another thing with consistency is like you've got the like kind of these are basically tabs up here, and these are tabs right here.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you're using this anywhere else in the site.
I think so.
But
But
I would be surprised if that element was there.
so, are you just talking about like font weight there, or because it's the same font?
Yeah, yeah. But like, so a couple of, like these are definitely bigger.
Yeah.
they're all caps and they're heavier weight.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these are lighter. I think the color may be the same, but lighter, and then obviously smaller font size. And
But also, wouldn't you want them to be a smaller font size because they're like in a section that has less space to work with?
I mean, yeah.
I guess I could make the header as big as I want it to be. But.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to make them like the same size because these are pretty big, so like you don't need to do that. But like just consistency with the weight, especially, I think like that's what's throwing me off because like usually things in the navigation are like a little chunkier to like because they're clickable.
Okay, let's try that real quick. And I was trying not to make these like black. Use the black weight. I was trying to use the
but I think like the one you're using on the other one,
the bold.
Yeah.
Come on. All right. I guess I don't also have to.
You wanna know a shortcut real quick? If you hold Command, and yep.
I'm on a fast thing. Is that better?
I feel like that feels better from a navigation standpoint.
It does feel a little better.
Like it definitely feels like okay, cool. I can navigate to these pages now.
Okay. Would you hold up? Question. Color-wise, should the active state of these then be pink?
That's what I would do.
Okay. Is that
right now? I'm assuming there's not an active state.
Yeah, I haven't really found one.
Yeah, well, as in like from your navigation right here, we're not really on.
Oh yeah, we're not on pages. Collections, resources, or about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other things is like the spacing here.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is closer to the. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
So this is closer to this icon than it is to this.
Yeah.
But like these things belong together, and they belong with this too. But like this is a group of things, and this is another separate thing.
Okay.
So white space needs to just tell it that.
So navigation isn't super consistent with font weight, which we have sort of changed, but I need to be careful to do that elsewhere.
Yeah.
Be consistent with color. Is it weird to have like? I'm really going to struggle with figuring out like the pink versus the teal.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
like if I'm using the pink here for the active state here, and I'm using the pink for the active state here, then I feel like I should use the pink for links because in addition to being navigation, these are also links.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know yet if I want to use the pink for links because that might get to be a lot of pink.
That would be, and like I don't.
But I also don't know if I do like having the little touch of pink here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there'd be anything wrong with using.
Also, the highlight clearly has to be the teal. Like I have to set the actual highlight color on the page.
Oh yeah, teal. for sure.
So that it matches the logo.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think that your links necessarily have to match what your highlighted state is because they're kind of like two different things. Because like your buttons are like clickable items and they're like this color and this color, and like obviously this would be really hard to read in text.
Yeah,
but like this is a button that's going to be used throughout the site. It's this color. Having a link that is that color. Like,
so you think
I wouldn't make it a color that's not what your buttons are and not what your like highlighted item in the navigation.
Not like a third color.
Yeah, definitely don't introduce a third color there. But I think you're fine using what your button color is versus like, and that's something too. You like how much pink do you want to introduce? Like, do you want the brand to really be like this black and teal kind of thing, or do you want to have the pink as like a pretty?
It's actually a navy and teal.
Oh, excuse me, navy and teal
it's
thing.
A dark navy.
Excuse me. Or do you want to have the pink as like a regular character in your brand?
Yeah. I mean, the main color is the navy and the teal.
Right.
Like that's the primary. But I like having the pink as like another accent color because it adds a little. Pink isn't used in a whole lot of places.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's whimsical. It's a little feminine, so it adds a little bit of something different there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Then I think using it in some subtle places like this would be a good start.
Okay. I wrote down fine using button colors for links and pink for nav.
Cool.
Let me check real quick just to make sure. I don't think we
got a thumbs up.
Oh, we got a thumbs up. What up? Your stream is going in background while I'm designing shopping cart for my latest project. Sweet.
Oh, nice. designing some things together.
Hey, Stefan. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but howdy. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna hide the comments again since we're not getting a ton, so that we can focus on getting through here. Also, we're at an hour and 10 minutes, so just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Probably let's just get through the homepage.
Yeah.
And then we'll call it for the night.
Cool.
Okie doke.
Okay, cool. So then, so these cards down here then, which, I'm gonna move on from the header section before too long, but
Cool.
it's a fairly important part of the page.
Yep, very important. And I'm using these same elements throughout the rest of the site, so like critiquing them here is
Cool.
in part just because they're the first.
Yeah, true.
It's the
It's like the
first place
first
you
time I've
see
seen the navigation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So these cards, I mean, I like the way the cards are set up, like really.
And I did try to be
straightforward.
consistent with the font weight there.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty straightforward, honestly. Like,
Cool.
wouldn't change a whole lot there.
Okay. Great.
Do you have like a hover state for these, or is it just kind of like just
good
kind of be
question.
your pointer thing?
Probably what I'll do is I'll make the hover state. I'll just highlight. I'll make the whole thing clickable, but then I'll just change the color of
Like the text or something, or
I didn't make all of these symbols, which I'm kind of glad for now, actually.
yeah.
So I might do that as like, it's not a great hover state, is it?
Hover state is one of those things where you definitely need to play around with it.
Yeah.
Like, because it never feels the same looking at it statically as it does.
Actually using it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to know.
Same thing with like your text, like the autocomplete kind of deal there.
Mm-hmm.
You're never gonna get it feeling right statically. Like it's always gonna feel a little different when you actually start working with it. But
because like now I'm kind of thinking like maybe I should just make this.
I mean, and that's not like you don't necessarily have to. Like your hover state could also be that like the shadow expands like slightly. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, that's a pretty common
I do
one.
like the shadow expanding.
Like
that's
yeah,
kinda
there's
nice.
just something really subtle you could do with it just to kind of make that interaction a little bit more firm.
Would you bump up like the spread maybe?
Yeah, so or I guess I think it's blur in Sketch, which is like what?
But blur it won't get.
Or I guess the spread, yeah, because it just like pushes out a little bit more. So you could do that if you like really wanted to.
Oh, that's a lot. Like, is that enough?
Yeah, and I would bump up the blur as well, just because like it's going to be a little softer, so it's like it looks like it's further out on the page.
Like, is that too much?
Yeah, that seems fine. Like I said, you're going to kind of want to play around with it.
Yeah, once I get it.
And then the other thing you could adjust is the Y positioning,
Mhm.
just because it like. But when you start messing with the
like bump it up.
or wait, sorry, down. Or no, yeah, the way that you're going. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm tired. So yeah, you can just look at kind of do like that. That's a fairly common
I'll play around with that.
thing. So you can find plenty of examples with that. But yeah, just something subtle to kind of
And then
enhance that interaction a
so
little
then
bit.
I should also play around with the buttons.
Yeah, like on this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is something to start thinking about is like what these hover styles are going to be for pretty much everything that it's like you're going to have hovers on these navigations, like on this little guy, on these little tabs, you know.
Oh, right, the
And-
hover.
And you don't need to get crazy with it, and
Mhm.
it's honestly better to have like nothing than like crazy stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that's just in one area that it's kind of like microcopy on the web app, like
Yeah.
it's just one of the areas that you can focus on and really give you some bonus points.
Cool.
Yeah, okay, so I think we can move on from that top section.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean this is fairly straightforward. I mean it's just basically kind of informational stuff, right? Like you got here's your social icons, here's your like kind of call to action to submit a link.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, is this kind of in here as a divider, or is this something like you really want people to follow you and
Both.
okay?
Yeah, so it's being used as a divider in part, but I definitely do want the follow us. I care about a little less, so I could remove that altogether. But I eventually, like my dream is to get to the point where I could hire someone to run the social who's like actually good at social for startup watching, and make it have its brand voice be kind of similar to Product Hunt, where it's like
cool,
joking and humorous and interacts with people a lot.
Yeah.
And so, the social, I think, will play a part of like building the community long term. It's just not one of my personal skills.
Excuse me.
Bless you. So for now, it's like kind of a secondary focus.
Gotcha.
Getting people to submit links is big because that was one of the things that drew me to Startup Watching originally. Was they made it clear that they accepted links as opposed to like most newsletters. You felt like weird and spammy trying to get your link in there.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Maybe I'll turn it off someday because right now the links I get, most of them aren't great. But there are some good ones in there, and I want to think through how to make people feel more invested in Startup Watching and
more of the community thing. Like, they feel like they're part of it rather than they just like get a newsletter every so often. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I mean, like visually, this is a nice little separator from like this content to like cool. We're on the rest of the page now.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this button is like a little bit more has a little bit more weight on it, like definitely helps kind of pull your eye toward it, toward that. What's your story? Share with the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't do anything crazy there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to make that submission thing more common,
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, it is at the top too.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's like right here on the top of every page. So you probably don't really need. It's kind of like a subtle reminder to like, hey, submit your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And visually it's solid.
And this is going to be reused on every page.
Okay,
so cool. I can show you that real quickly.
And that's good to know too, because like you don't want this like pulling attention from, like if it's going to be a regular thing, then it's like
people
are going to see it.
This element's going to be reused on every page, but on most of the pages, and this is something that I just pulled. I just sort of followed their lead. So on most of the pages, they then moved it to the bottom here.
Okay,
it's just sort of part of this big, like, this is kind of all a consistent footer throughout the site.
Okay, cool. It's
like these 4 elements. Which is a large footer, but also, who cares?
Yeah.
It's the footer.
Some footers are massive.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
So, I wouldn't really do anything with that. You don't want it to be stealing too much attention from the content of the page. All right, so now we have your collections here.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these do you think you'll have?
So I can tell you that. Let's go to my drive. So this is all the content.
Oh, nice.
And I've been working with a freelance data entry person to pull it from the newsletter. And so she's got it pretty much all in here. So right now I've got inspiration, sales, marketing, management, fundraising, case study, design, product.
Okay.
So right now I've got 8.
Cool.
The way that those are structured, it might make sense to add a 9th. But yeah, right now I've got 8.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like that or like 27.
No.
So, okay. I want
to keep it small.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thoughts on this. Like I do, like visually these do look cool.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I would definitely encourage you to do is to actually put different names in here and different pictures. Because that's going to look very different than like what this looks like.
Yep.
So it's going to be hard to like really tell what this is going to look like until you throw in some content in that direction.
And really I should, with all this stuff, I need to enter real Startup Watching content. Because like one of the other things is that I need to spend some time on is
because like
these titles are super short, and mine are pretty long.
Yeah, so that's definitely something.
That's something I need to play with.
Yeah. And then when you're doing that, try to pull like the longest possible title and put it in there, and then all same thing with like the shortest possible title.
Okay.
That's one thing when you're designing like dynamic text things is like you can design something that looks okay, and then you have something in there that's like crazy long, like way longer than you expected, and it looks like terrible because you had no way to handle that. It's like, oh, I didn't realize if it was 5 lines, like where's all the stuff go? Like in these cards, it could be really easy for that to happen. So just having a plan for handling things and thinking about that. So I would definitely do that. Like visually, I do like these. So you've got like the number of links here, which is cool. So I like having that information on here. I will say these look fairly different than these do.
Yeah.
So is there like a reason for that? Like what's the idea there?
So the reason for that is that I bought this theme, this WordPress theme, and it came with some pre-designed mockups.
Okay.
And that's how they work.
Okay.
And so
yeah, fair enough.
The reason.
That's a good enough reason.
Yeah.
So I mean, a couple of things with that, like. So up here you've got like the image, and then you've got the content kind of below that, which is a pretty different setup than using the image as like a background. So I don't know that you need to go like super hard on making those look like exactly the same. Like it looks like you're kind of doing a good job of like the font, like the weight, and then the kind of subtext weight. So that's good. I guess the big thing here is like these are kind of big clickable items, the same as like these and like your big buttons. So it's kind of like the shadow versus no shadow thing. So I would just experiment with like, is this something that would look good with a shadow? My gut's telling me if you keep it like this, the shadow would probably not be great, especially if you have like, with those background images and stuff. But
it might be kind of fun to play with. This would be a pretty drastic difference. But like, there's no real reason they need to have the image at all. So I could just make them all buttons, and play with like creating like big chunky buttons that have like the name and like the number of links or something.
Yeah.
And then and make them all like each a different color. That might be...
You know what you could do, actually?
What?
Would be cool with that? So, like, kind of using the same style, but, like, condense it maybe a little bit. So you could have, like, a little emoji for each one next to the category, and then have, like, views collection or whatever, and the number of links. So you may not even need that, but you might just visual interest. And then,
so would you mind mocking that up real quick and just showing me what you're thinking there? Would that take you much time?
Just a couple seconds here.
I also just think this would be interesting for people to see like the way you work versus the clunky ass way that I work. So right off the bat, something you'll notice about the way Austin's working is that he carefully copied this one item over and is going to spend some time perfecting it rather than doing all this shit right in the mock-up the way that I do. Slash not making copies at all the way that I do.
Okay. Cool. So,
also talk out loud as you're doing this.
Yeah, so just kind of taking the background image out of here because we're basically just going to try it with like a solid background here. And then I don't remember on your buttons, they're not...
They're 100.
Crisp, right?
Huh?
Well, yeah, I need to make this 100%. But
yeah,
the edges on them, you have a little bit of a border radius, don't you?
Yeah, I have a 2 border radius.
Cool.
So I should do that either way.
Yeah, so that'll make that consistent. And then I don't think... Yeah, just some like...
Get rid of that.
Well, I was going to say either way, like, make it nice and centered up.
Nice.
And then I always make things like this in groups because like I'm not going to move this down and not move this down since these go together. Same thing with this.
Yep.
So that's why I'm grouping everything.
Cool.
So what do you have? 9 pixels there. It's going to be your guy, so we'll make that consistent. And then we're just roughing this out, so I'm not going to get super technical. I'll just let Sketch figure it out. Cool. And then I don't know what emoji represents gadgets.
All right, let's use some actual content. So inspiration.
So one thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to go make a copy of this because one of the options we talked about was just using different colored backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So like we would want to keep it kind of like this. I think if we're doing emojis, we could start with just kind of copying that card style. So I believe you had this color.
Oof.
Yeah, we got to change the text color, obviously. But in your shadows were... Did you have them at 50 on the alpha channel, or?
It's definitely lighter than what you've got right now.
Yeah, let me just copy that over. So one thing you can do too is make things a little.
Can you save, like, just double click? Oh wait, yeah, that one's. You picked the one that's actually a symbol.
Oh, there's one that's not.
Yeah. So if you click on like one of those guys, they're not a symbol yet.
Okay, cool. So what you can do, like if this is your card thing, you can set it as a layer style. So we can just say it like card shadow. Or probably this is easier way. And so now I can just go over here.
Ooh.
And then say that I want to use this card shadow. And then if you have another one, so like, just to show you, if you have another one that's like card / dark background. And then if I want to change it now, okay, actually, there we go, card. And then it has, so you can like bundle some.
What? That's
so
handy.
It condenses things when you add the slash.
That's
it's a little
handy.
easier to work with.
Learning new stuff every time I get people to critique my designs, which is literally the point of critiques.
Yep. So is this your main color here? And then you're using the same color, right?
Yep.
You're not using like a
Nope.
Cool.
Using the same.
There it is. Kind of playing hide and seek here. I could have done this in a much more efficient way.
Oh no, is it gonna make you? Okay.
I just could have selected like all the text together and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, do you have like a?
Oh lord.
Is it that?
Yeah, it's that crazy shit. Sorry, our office is leaking weird glue stuff.
Yeah.
1 second.
It's probably haunted or something.
Yeah, probably. I did film Halloween here.
So this is probably not the most. Efficient way to grab them. Oh, there it is. It's probably not the most efficient way to grab emojis, but I always go here.
Dude, no, go back. Now I get to teach you something.
In Sketch?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Alright, click into the text, like you're typing out text.
Okay.
And then hit, hold on, I can never remember which one. I think it's, command space. Nope. I can never remember which one it is. Control command space.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And you can even type, and it'll like autocomplete.
Huh, that's pretty sweet.
Yep, it's built into every Mac.
Alright, I'm going to go with the very cliche emoji for inspiration for now, just so we can have something.
What is it?
Light bulb.
Oh, Lord, okay.
Unless you have something that we can put in this second.
No, that's fine.
Now, there it goes. Alright, so let's see what it would look like. So now I'm just making a quick copy of the homepage since we're just kind of plugging this in to play with things.
I'm back.
So we're going to take this little guy and then just see what would happen if we replaced all of these for alignment purposes. So if we replace all of these with these little cards, I'm just using this to align things.
What? That was handy.
Cool. And then obviously you're not going to have inspiration, but I don't think we need to worry about that right this second. I don't know what the spacing of the clip is, but so that's
That's pretty bland.
It's not much going on there.
Yeah,
for sure. Like the this is definitely more visually interesting.
Yep.
I guess you could still use emoji here, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all symbols.
cool. Yeah. Feels a little weird with the emojis on the things, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that could be something to play around with, like if you had them different colors or something.
Mhm.
Like this is one of those things where if you could get good images for these, like the image backgrounds obviously are really like low hanging fruit.
So I think the way the theme is built, it pulls like the most recent story image from that collection
Okay,
and
Cool.
uses that, which is kind of neat. So then they're changing, but that could also be a little confusing if they're changing.
yeah, because I guess like right here you're kind of putting like this image to be inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could be something to look at. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is definitely, there's definitely some different ways to do this. Like, I mean, like this right here on its own is definitely not.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And like, you should definitely try it with like different emojis and stuff. 'Cause, like right now, the emoji is what's carrying the thing, which is fine. But so yeah, I mean, that could be like having like these things look a little bit more visually interesting, having like the header or whatever a little bit more. But yeah. I think this might be the way to go, especially if the theme's already built in with it.
Yeah.
This isn't bad, so I don't think you need to change it or anything. But
Okay.
if you have other ideas, obviously you can put it on.
Yeah, it was worth trying.
Yeah. So one question: are you planning on doing like the black for all of these? Because you mentioned earlier like the different color things, like that's something you could incorporate here.
Yeah. So if I'm not going to go all in on colors,
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. Like,
I mean, it would be what, like 8 or 9 colors,
yeah,
which is a lot.
that's a lot of colors to like come up with.
Yeah.
Because like right now in my color palette, I've got like essentially 5, and that are not gray.
Yeah.
So if you
Everything's a symbol. There we go. Like you've got this yellow, this pink. You've got 2 shades of like this guy.
which even those might be too similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I could obviously come up with like a purple.
Yeah. It might get to be a lot though.
Yeah.
For sure. The only other question I guess here would
Because
be
like the brand is also about like sort of simplicity, so
yeah.
I don't want to go all in on the like circus clown look.
Yeah, for sure.
A million colors everywhere.
Yeah. Have you tried any other colors here, or
I've not.
always so like that could be one thing to try? Is just like
Yeah, you want to just swap out one of them out for that teal? Do Gadges, because Gadges is the only one that's not a symbol.
okay, cool. So like if we were gonna say, hey, this
Gadges.
is. I think we're at like 70. I believe. I'm just gonna go with that.
Yeah, close enough.
So yeah, we have little gadgets here. I guess if you do anything that's like a color,
Yeah,
you'll probably need to come in here and throw in
like a shadow.
some text shadow.
Yeah, I think that's probably. I may have tried the color and gone, no, that's.
Yeah, I
reason.
agree with that. Go ahead and back that one up. But yeah, I mean, you could always like if you wanted to add color here, you could have like like this little guy being color, or like have this kind of like being color, or you do something on the hover or something. But yeah,
if I'm gonna stick with this, I don't.
Yeah, I think this
the
section is solid enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think if you're gonna have a handful of them, like the way to display them like this is easy. Definitely would put them in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Like making scanning easy, but
Yep.
other than that. Cool. So we're moving right along here. So this is the element you kind of were talking about a little bit. Like it's supposed to be an ad, but you're thinking about using it for like a lead magnet.
Mm-hmm.
So just some copy and I'm assuming that wouldn't say submit, but
yeah,
that would be a link somewhere, or would you put like a form here?
So I think the way the theme is built, it's just an image. So like the whole thing is a single image.
Oh, okay.
So probably what I do is for like simplicity's sake on the development side is I just make the whole thing a clickable image.
Gotcha.
And so I just make it look like a button and then it pops up
some kind of landing
window
page
or
something.
yeah, it takes you to a landing page or something like that.
Okay. So this is just kind of like a mock-up of like what one of those images could be.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's good because that'll give you a lot more flexibility too to change things pretty easily.
Play around with it.
I like the idea of using the big emoji like that.
Yeah, I thought that was. I've never blown up an emoji that big.
Yeah, since it's going to be an image, I think you'll be good to go because I know like I tried to do that a while ago. I think it was on Ink maybe or Wink.
No, Wink.
Yeah, we tried to do that and like emojis just didn't go that big at the time. But I feel like that's been improved.
Clearly.
Oh, this is literally just text?
Yeah, that's literally a piece of text that's an emoji.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah.
That's the rocket emoji if you blew up the rocket emoji.
It does look
250 points.
Yeah, it's a lot more detail in there than I would expect.
It's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised it shrinks down so well with that much detail.
Yeah, I know. Cool. Yeah, so I think something like that is a good little thing. All right, so your
I feel like the let's knock out the footer real quick because like the very footer, I feel like it's pretty much just fine.
Like this right here.
Like this whole thing.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you would?
Not really. I mean, I like having the about section on here.
Cool.
For sure. The only thing I would look at doing is if you're not going to have this as part of the footer, like on every page, have some kind of like.
It is.
So okay, so basically like this
whole thing is the footer,
cool.
But like
okay,
that's like the
then yeah, that's solid. Like
okay,
like that.
Cool.
Also, footer design is surprisingly tricky.
Yeah,
it's like one of those things where I don't know, just having a really nicely laid out footer is sometimes.
Again, I just took what they
it looks solid.
I gave it, I tweaked the colors and stuff.
That's one thing I thought about doing is just like having a gallery of well-designed footers for inspiration.
Cool.
I've definitely gone into Dribble before and like footer. But yeah, that one's solid. And I think using the dark is just fine, especially if you're going to be using stuff like this. Yeah. And then like this is again leading into that, so I like it.
Okay.
And I think it's nice contrast,
yeah,
the rest of the site. All right, so this CDA here.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this right here,
mm-hmm.
Like the text and everything. Like it definitely pulls you in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and you mentioned this already. Is like this button
is
just like not.
It's weird that it's white.
It's a couple of things here. Like one, it's definitely weird that it doesn't jump out at me as like this is a button I need to push.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like below the text field, whereas like up here,
the one up there is
they're next to each other.
Yep.
So that's just something like consistency wise. As far as it being the white thing, I mean one, like really low hanging fruit here is basically. I see it's the light large. So like if you make the text color like that. Oh, yeah, definitely not that one. So like that's like one way to
Oh,
now it looks like a little bit more.
It does look better,
approachable. Otherwise, I would do like a dark, like this color. If you're gonna stick with the white background, just because like with the gray, it almost looks like not clickable.
Yeah,
because like gray text is a fairly common like disabled button state.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the white background button, or would you go like a dark background button?
Yeah, so I guess we can try a few things out here.
Yeah, let's just
like we might as well, right?
Yeah, so that one's, you'll have to create like a new button.
Yeah, I wonder.
What's up?
I was just, there's definitely ways you can set up
like better
nice
symbols.
Overrides.
Yeah.
With buttons and like background color stuff, it's a little tricky because you have to make like the background as a separate thing.
It's like its own symbol and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll call this one.
I'm definitely doing like baby kindergarten version of symbols.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they can be super powerful, but it's also time consuming, and it's like if you're trying to iterate on stuff quickly, it can be really easy to kind of forget about that part of it. But okay, so it'll still be light, large.
It won't be light. It'll be like dark, probably.
Oh, that's what we were saying. Yeah.
Dark, large. Large.
There we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, we can try this now with kind of same deal as this other one.
Cool.
Hashtag consistency. And then we've got this guy with the white. Not quite.
You wouldn't just go hex? I always go hex when I'm trying to make white. Also, it's,
Okay.
I don't know why it's 76. Also, like, very specific.
Oh, wait, now we need to change it on the symbol, don't we?
Yep.
Cool. I guess we can kind of play around here.
Yeah, let's just play around.
So, like, that's already this shadow looks interesting.
Looks
I
different.
think it must be gray rather. Wait, what? Where's the shadow? Is it on the whole thing? Oh, that's what it is. It's gray shadow instead of.
Oh. So, whoa, that's so dark.
Well, yes, at 100 is not any transparency. I normally do shadows in the 10 to 20 range, but I don't know what your other one was because I didn't actually look. I just copied it.
I think those other ones have shadows. Yeah.
The other buttons. Well, but they're all set to that gray.
Yeah, but you could still. Oh, right.
So like, I don't know what the.
Shit.
But the cards looked better, I think, or maybe they're also gray. They're just on a white background.
They might also be gray. That would be kind of silly, but.
All right. So this one was. Oh no, there's 25. Okay, so we'll go 25.
But it's also 0.
Do I?
It's using black, transparent black. So we should probably change that to a.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget to use brand colors for shadows.
Also use like dark colors with an alpha channel instead of gray. Because then when you put it on top of colors, it's
what
like,
does alpha channel mean?
So that's the A in RGBA, and it's like transparency essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like already this looks much more compelling using the dark button,
Mhm.
and then I think like from a consistency standpoint, like pulling this guy over.
Yeah, I agree.
Over here would be the way to go. And then,
Although I think, that's why I moved them under each other because I thought it looked really weird having, it makes it look kind of like lopsided. See what I'm saying? Because like when you center it, like because this is here, it feels a little lopsided to me. Do you think that that's just me being weird?
well, yeah, because you have the same thing right here.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's a huge
Okay. And then we just jump in there. And I was actually thinking it needed a little more white space anyway, so I think rather than making the whole thing smaller, let's just like center it. Cool. Oh, these are handy.
Oh, we do the alignments? Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll save you so much time. Cool. Yeah, so I think this is definitely an improvement here. And I really wouldn't do a whole lot more to this, I don't think. Like it pulls you in really well. It's like got a very clear like I think the white like text box on here works really well.
Mm-hmm. It's also not actually white. It's like the same color as the card.
The really light gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it works super well on this background because it like
cool.
It's like cool. Here you
go.
Cool.
Sweet.
Okay, yeah. So that's the homepage. Sweet.
Way to go.
Good stuff, man.
All right.
Yeah, from just in general, like I really like the direction you went with everything because I saw the first version. I haven't seen it since then. So
yeah.
Like this header, I remember you were talking a lot about the header, but I think like it looks much cleaner and
cool. Yeah, with a little bit more polish, a little more white space,
yeah,
stuff like
sure,
that.
For sure.
I think it'll look good.
I like the direction it's going.
All right, it's 8:13. Where are we at time wise? An hour and 43 minutes.
Yeah,
time flies.
It really does when you're streaming.
Oh,
thumbs up too.
Woo! 2 thumbs ups. Awesome. I don't think we've had any new. 4 comments.
Oh.
Hey, I said it well. Cool. Glad to hear it, Stefan. Appreciate you designing, strategizing out loud. Cool. Thanks, Timothy. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah. How are you doing on time?
I probably need to head out.
Okay. I was just gonna see if you would give me like 5 minutes, like rough rundown of this page.
Okay. Like not getting into details in
Yeah.
the last one, but just
like where do you think I need to spend more time?
okay.
Even.
Yeah. Can we go to?
Which is right there.
Going to 100%.
Okay.
There you go. Cool. Okay, so one, I really like the layout of this.
Okay.
Like, nice consistency there, because that's like about that's what you've got over here, right?
Mhm.
They're the same. Yeah. So I like that a lot. One thing is that this visit link is so you've got like the same size as this.
Yeah.
It's a different color. So it's like the same color as like your primary button,
Mm-hmm.
but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a bad thing, but that's the first time I've seen a button like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you use that one anywhere else on the site, but it's just like now like the third button style that we have,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess really fourth, right? Because we've got, I mean, it's on a white background, so it's the third for like the white backgrounds, and then on the colored backgrounds, we also have this guy now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Although, it's really, so we basically, we do have 4 button styles. We have primary, secondary, we kind of have primary, secondary, large, small.
yeah, and I mean,
I feel like the large button would just be overwhelming here.
yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Oh, but you're thinking maybe use the dark secondary?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm just, honestly,
Just spitballing.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, I do like the color of it.
Okay.
Like it looks. I feel like if you put it here, then now you're competing with these.
Mm-hmm.
Like this definitely takes the weight.
Okay.
So
Something
yeah, I
to
don't know
consider.
if you need to change it, but it's just like if this is the first place I saw that button.
Okay.
So if you're not using it anywhere else, like
Let me actually, instead of getting you to run through this page, I mean, real quick, I guess we'll ignore this stuff down here, but like real quick, these comments, it's obviously super like light,
so.
minimal.
How are you doing the comments? Is it like a plugin, or
I think it's just like built on top of WordPress. I'm not sure. I need to dig into that a little bit.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But basically, like you do have like pretty.
Like they've already got it built.
We need to like have firm control over.
I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I agree with you that it definitely looks like fairly
Minimal.
minimal. I guess, which isn't like a terrible thing. I think like one of the things is the spacing maybe,
Mm-hmm.
because like the reply button is like really far down here, and like
Yeah.
like the comment. Sorry, I should use a mouse. So like this comment is like closer to this one than the reply button is. So just like tightening that up would go a long way. I mean, I don't think you need the comment section to be like super.
Like visually. Boom
Yeah,
in
I
your
mean
face.
it's a comment section. Like typically those are, just text, like a thread of text. But making it easy to read and like reply to things is definitely
Cool. So
focus there.
my last question that I'm going to ask you tonight
Yeah.
is just this page needs a good bit of work. Like that's obviously not consistent. The buttons aren't consistent.
Styles,
But text style. Because this is essentially exactly what this is,
yeah.
I tried to. I mean, right now it's exactly what that is. Just the header is lighter,
I
which
gotcha.
is in a sense inconsistent. But also, if you had a bunch of chunky headers on a page, it might look kind of weird. Also, this will be an H1, and these will need to be H2s since there's multiple of them on the page.
That's a good point.
But then over here, my H2s are the same chunky, but then a little bit smaller. So I guess I'm just talking myself into I need to do some work to this.
Yeah,
just play around with some
kind of
different
see what you
options.
can do there because
I also don't know if I want it to be exactly 100% this element, which right now it is, right? Like it's even
Yeah.
got the
it's
share
like
and
it's
visit.
that's nice and consistent, but then like
It's like, what's the point of ever going to the item page?
yeah.
Okay.
And I mean maybe like I guess comments are one thing,
Mhm.
so you can see how big of a deal comments are. And maybe it's having a page for all the content too. Like maybe that's important for
Mhm.
SEO purposes.
Mhm.
But if not, like maybe you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I want to add like authors potentially here,
Okay.
and I am thinking about like how should I flesh this out more? Should I add more up here to the top? I don't know. Yeah, I'm also trying not to bite off too much with this first version.
Well, yeah, because
get it
you
out
can
the
always
door.
like add that functionality.
Cool.
So.
Okay, man. Well, I think let's go ahead and call it there. So to everyone who's still on, thank you so much for joining. Anyone who sees this after we finish, who watches the recorded version, thanks for watching. I know that this was long, but hopefully it was helpful. I know it was really helpful for me. Startupwatching.com. You can subscribe to the newsletter and get information about more live feeds, live streams.
Yeah.
Bringing Fried Sunday night. Get information about more live streams and get 5 links delivered to your inbox every Thursday. And then I will be, as you heard earlier, my goal is to launch this site by the end of the year. And I'm going to continue live streaming as I work on it. I did, some of the work I'll do without live streaming just because it does take a lot of time and energy to live stream, but I'll try to live stream as much as I can. I'm going to try to do a stream Tuesday with Pedro, provided the weather in Portugal clears up. And we're going to do a critique as well, but instead of focusing a lot on aesthetics, which we did today, like aesthetics and structure and UX, we're going to talk more about strategy for the site and how we can structure the site and how I can think about creating new content for the site to help grow it. Cool. So that's what I'll be doing. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, this is my first live streaming experience, and so if you haven't tried it, I would recommend it. It's fun.
Anything you want to plug?
I don't really have any active side projects at the moment, I guess.
You've got like a million side projects all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, that newsletter I have not sent out in quite a while. So.
You have a company, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, if you can check out builtbycred.com, where we don't actually have these koozies for sale, but if you want one, I guess you could just email Andrew.
Yeah, I might give you one. Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everybody, so much. Austin's on Twitter, at Austin W. Price. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, got some more comments. Stefan, cool. Real quick before we go. Okay, cool. Thanks for the feedback, Stefan. This is awesome. Thanks everybody for joining, and let's see you soon. Bye.